Hello and welcome to video 5 of the Evolutionary Personal Care video series. In video 4, I discussed to a pretty good depth the 5 different states of consciousness in the land of the ordinary. I discussed the state of consciousness, sacred pause, that is like this bridge between the land of the ordinary and the land of the extraordinary. And in this video, we're going to be discussing the state of polarity in the land of the ordinary, and we're going to be demonstrating how to work with the state of consciousness of polarity. What are the exercises that I recommend when you find yourself in the state where everything that's going good with you or everything that's going wrong with you is somebody else's problem, that because they're acting this way, it's very difficult for you to be at peace or at ease. If they would just start doing something or they would just stop doing something, then everything would be okay with you. If you can, so the state of polarity really operates when you externalize your problems onto people, but also onto things or places. Like, if I could just buy a house in this neighborhood, then everything would be okay with me. And that's what I mean by being able to recognize a state of consciousness, that if you've got some anxiety or some difficulty and you're finding yourself highly charged and polarized to a person, place, or thing, and it is either the cause of your salvation and what's right, or it's the cause of all of your problems, the healthy person, the person healing, that person's going to call themselves on that, and then they're going to do a number of things are possible. There are other technologies than this one, but what I recommend that I found to be very efficient and work with thousands of people goes a little bit like this. So maybe I can have Nichelle come up here. Okay, welcome to the hands-on demo portion of this video, where we're going to help you understand how to work with the state of consciousness of polarity. I know that you've already worked with yourself and you know how to find ease inside of your body. Fortunately, we have got Nichelle here who's going to go through the process of not just finding one part of her body that she's connected in ease with, but she's going to find another one. And then we're going to put those two areas of ease into relationship. And this has the tendency to then take a lot of the charge off of the state of consciousness. When you take the charge off of something, the probability is that you're going to be able to come from a more whole body, like more aware part of you, and you'll make healthier decisions and healthier choices. Won't be so wrapped up in the energy of it. And so go ahead and have your hands over your belly button and breath in. So we're just doing a general scan to find the 2 best places of ease. And again. And then bring your hands here. That's position 3. And out. And one more time. Okay, hands position 4, your inner heart, and breath in. And out. One more time. And then have your hands over your eyes. And breath in. which are the two best places? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the two best places.
I felt like it was my belly button, position 2 and position 3.
Okay, great. So so what I want you to do is, let's just start with both your hands over your belly button. And so this is a little bit of a review from video 3, where we're transferring ease from one part of the body to another part of the body. You always want to start with the best one, and she's breathing in her nose and out her mouth. And one more time, Nichelle. Okay, bring your hands to here, and breath in, and out, and again, and out. Okay, leave one hand here and put your other hand over your belly button. And what we're doing is just breath in right here, and out. Move your mind through your body to here, breath in and out. Move your mind through your body, breath in, and then exhale. Keeping your focus there, move your mind through your body to here, breath in and out, and here, and out. And I keep alternating. So what she's doing is she's associating the free energy that's here with the free energy that's here. She's sharing energy between two different parts of her body, and this has the tendency to depolarize her experience. And so if the state of consciousness, if her experience is polarity, this has the tendency to depolarize that, which reduces stress, which reduces anxiety, it creates a more whole body experience. And out, and breath in. And as we get through the midpoint of this way of working with yourself or with somebody else, speed starts to become important. Speed is important because it takes a person out of control relatively more. So over the next few, 30 seconds or so, we'll start speeding this up, but we don't want to lose very much specificity. So it's not about just becoming random and uncontrolled. It has to do with really stepping into the body, being present with more speed so that you're less analytical. What this will do is it will create you to be more spontaneous inside of yourself, less analytical. And here, and out, and here, and out, and here, and out, and here, and out, here, and out. And then place your hands down by your sides. That's the pace that you're after. It's about 124 cycles per minute. Describe what that looks like and feels like in there, Nichelle.
Like an energy building, and initially it felt harder to connect in here while I had my hand here.
Yeah.
There was more ease here.
Yeah.
But then as I did it more, it felt like this came online more.
Okay.
And there's like an intensity, internal intensity that I felt kind of building.
Sure, and that makes sense, right? Because you're doing something kind of intense. So as you look inside your body right now, what does that look like in there? You've done a great job of describing what the process was and what the experience is like, but what does it look like inside your body now?
There's a lot of spaciousness in here,
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't feel as it doesn't look as spacious here, but there's like a density that feels like potent and powerful
Okay, cool.
versus like a density that's heavy and kind of smothering.
Okay, so the way that we would then converse about that, like to help our audience understand this, is that she's brought free energy from here and brought it to an area that she's connected with, but she kind of like lit it on fire, that there's this defended energy that she's kind of lit on fire, and we're going to be using that bound energy to then propel her forward as we step into later states of consciousness, specifically in the land of the extraordinary. So one of the really neat things about this work is that, yes, we are recognizing that we have defended, locked up parts of our body. They have bound energy. They're anchors of defense in our body. And these things, these areas of defense or these anchors, these have definitely come from your experience of your life of not being able to integrate difficulties. And instead of judging them as wrong or bad, what we're going to do is we want to utilize that energy that's bound up as a useful resource of energy to then propel the person forward. And so this was a perfect example of what happens commonly when somebody shares two areas of energy, is that something gets lit up, they see more spaciousness inside, and that allows them to then come from a more whole version of themselves rather than just one part of them. And so, thanks, Michelle. Yeah. So as we further our investigation of the state of polarity and how to work with it, one of the pieces of the puzzle that we've bumped into a little bit in this video is this idea of creating wholeness and spreading ease in the body. So the exercise that you learned in a previous video about just connecting in your body somewhere and creating more spaciousness, that's a wonderful skill set to have. You've probably already discovered that that's a very easy skill set to utilize. And it's good to understand that when you recognize that you're in the state of polarity, that if you then have you recognize that you've got, two different places of ease in your body, and you share the free energy between those two parts of your body, that's going to increase the volume of the ease inside of your body so that you can be body present, not just like being present in your life has wonderful gifts, and books have been talking about it, and people have been talking about being present in the evolving now for a very long time. People don't talk about where are they present. And so as you're learning this technology, not only is part of the gift being present in the unfolding moment, but you also are bringing not just your intellect or this awareness into the evolving moment, but you're bringing this into the evolving moment. And one of the very nice side benefits to the exercise of polarity, so not only does it decrease sympathetic tone, meaning that it dials down anxiety, it dials down the stress response, it dials up parasympathetic response, it promotes the recuperative abilities of the body. Yes, all of that happens. It depolarizes how much you think that something outside of you is the cause of your problems or the cause of your success, and it leads you to be more self-reflective because you're increasing the volume of the presence, the container that you are, that you bring into the moment. And so sharing energy between the two best parts of your body is a really good way to start working with polarities inside of your body and life. The next step of this is to not choose the two best parts of your body, but that has the most ease, but to maybe pick the second best place of ease with the third best place of ease. And so as time goes on and as you work with yourself, the logical pathway is you work with the best area and the second best area. Then you work with the second best area and the third best area. Then you work with the third best area and the fourth best area. And so as time goes on, you create more of a full body presence that we would then call personal merging, and that's a more full body experience that's present inside of your life. And so I've got my friend Melissa here, if you'll come up. She's going to help us work through this next strategy. Okay. So once again, we're going to start with a general scan. And so here we go. Breath in. And one more time. All right, yeah. Okay, over position 4, and breath in. And one more time. And then hands over your eyes, Melissa. Okay, so where's the best place?
Best place would be belly button.
Okay, second best place?
My heart.
And the third?
Right here.
Okay, so let's see here. So over your inner heart was the second best?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start there because we're, like everything, we're going to start with ease and expand from there. So we're kind of going back to that third video again where we're talking about ease. Maybe that's the second video. And so anchor her nicely in at this degree of ease. And one more time. And move your hands. Yep. And breath in. Once more. Hands over your inner heart again. And breath in. And just like a sponge soaks up water, let your hands soak up that ease. And then move your hands and let that ease drain into this part of your body. And then hands back over your inner heart and breath in. Okay, go ahead and separate your hands to those two places. And once again, we'll start here. Breath in and out. And while you're going slow with this, you really want your entire breath cycle to be in one part of your body. So breath in and breath out. Then you move your focus and out. And now move your, and out, and here, all the way out. Now move your focus. You really want them separated as you're moving slow so that you really identify that they have like their own voice in the relationship. And here and out. And hands down by your sides. And so you'll get yourself to a place where you maximize the speed. As you maximize the speed, the two energies will blur inside of energy oscillation, and that's what creates the volume. Another really cool side benefit of this is that now, if Melissa, she's working with these two parts of her body, if she had like some defense, some stuff locked up in between these two areas, her focused attention and breath is requiring her to create a conduit of focus, to go from one part inside of her landscape to another part. So if there's bound energy in there, it's going to like free energy here, bound energy here. It's going to free that bound energy up. And it creates more volume inside of there. What's your experience inside, Melissa?
I mean, really exactly that. There's a freer sense of the breath and then the connection between the two. For a bit it was like shaky, working its way between the two, and then it just cleared up that pathway.
Right.
Really, really well.
Yeah. And one of the things that I think is like, there's a lot of side benefits to this work. One of the side benefits, one of the effects that happens with everybody that I've worked with that, actually get involved in discovering more about themselves is that they start to develop the ability to verbalize what's going on inside of themselves and they're articulate. So the probability of that person being able to express how they feel and how they are authentically skyrockets. Understand, if you ask a disconnected person about how they're doing, how they're feeling, you're going to get a crap response. You should expect a crap response. But people that develop themselves and learn to have breath and ease and connection, they do better in relationship because they know themselves better. They can verbalize what's going on with themselves better. And so then they can share their depth with other people more. And so relationships flourish inside of depth and vulnerability. So people that have that skill set have better relationships. And it's one of the points of why we're doing this, because people that are living extraordinary lives have great relationships. And so thank you very much for joining us for this video where we thoroughly investigated the state of polarity. So please work with it a bunch, and we'll catch you on the next video.